The warehouse is open, volume 69, bringing a game-worn expo to life and a collector focus. Little combo platter prior to the holidays. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving, so let's give you a double portion. Joined by Ben Russell today inside the warehouse. Ben, good to see you again, my friend. How are you doing?
Good, Scott. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks again a bunch for doing this. Check out MyGray, of course, mygray.com. Before you know it, there'll be a Connor McDavid auction coming to a close, and the holiday sale information will be in your eyes and in your ears, depending on how you are consuming this podcast, and we thank you for doing so. We'll talk about the Hershey Expo, which, as we record, just in the rearview mirror. We'll also talk about you and do a collector profile. You have quite the wonderful collection. I have met you at a couple of Northern Virginia expos, and we have crossed paths, and you always have a most excellent table set up, and today we see it live and in living color. You've got great lighting behind you and some awesome sweaters. We'll get to all that stuff in just a little bit. Tell me how the journey into the fabric world came about, Mr. Russell.
Yeah, so I found hockey kind of late in life. I was, 25, 26. Went to a Hershey Bears game, fell in love. Um, I was there. I started going around the 08, 09, 09, 010 season. That's the first back to back in my lifetime here. And, a year later, out on the concourse, they had a raffle for a game worn jersey. Spent $20 and won.
And there it is. I always like to ask this question. Do you still have the sweater?
I actually dug it out. I'm wearing it right now.
There it is. Stand up, give me a little bit of show and tell. Who is it? Tell me
Yeah,
what it means to you.
it's a 2010 Calder Cup Finals jersey worn by Keith Aucoin. I just kind of fell in love with the way he played the game. Became one of my favorite players. Watched his career after that. Started collecting as many of his jerseys as I could get my hands on.
And we'll talk about Mr. Coin because you are the original A-B collection. We'll get to the B in just a little bit. Most recently, you had people come to your town and take part in the, you fill it out, nth annual Hershey Expo. Tell me about how this came to pass. Again, you found hockey late in life. You got into the hobby perhaps a little later than some, but right on time for you, Ben, and it's worked out quite nicely. Tell me where the origin of the Hershey Expo came from.
Yeah, so this past year just happened 2 days ago, was our fifth year. We did take a year off for the COVID year, so that kind of put a sting on it. If you ever been to a Hershey Bears game and you walk around, Giant Center holds a little over 10,000 people. I'd say a quarter of those people are wearing a game worn jersey. So the expo was a way to try to dig some of those out of closets, get people out, let people see what you have, let people see what's out there. Um, yeah, and that's kind of our idea. Um, After seeing what Frank did down in Nova, and think I think we're doing an okay job. We're working on it.
It's always a living, breathing process. So you mentioned the supporters up there in Hershey, and I have a kid up at Penn State, and depending on what route we take, I have driven by that arena on the right, and then you get to the shopping center. I've ducked into that giant many, many times, either for a bathroom break or a bag of almonds and an iced coffee or something like that. At any rate, you have a built-in fan base, so it's a no-brainer. And I say that with the utmost respect. It's like we all love our team. A lot of these people wear sweaters. Let's celebrate it and have an expo. Is that kind of where it just came from?
Absolutely, yeah. And it's kind of like that thing, if a tree falls in the woods, you know, if you own a sweater and it's in the back of your closet and no one ever sees it, does it really exist? So I have recently moved towards the older stuff. Now, when I say older, I'm saying 70s and 80s. So I really like seeing that stuff, and that's something you don't see are in Giant Center. And I'm hoping that as our show grows, as people spread the word, we'll get to see some of those older things come out.
It's Tales from the Warehouse, Volume 69, talking to Ben Russell today. We'll get into his collecting and collection in just a little bit, talking about because Ben and Emily, they are sort of the brains and the brawn and the and the wishful thinking, all behind the Hershey Expo. You mentioned some of the vintage stuff. Tell me about the most recent weekend. What did you see? What did you love? Talk to me.
So as you know, I am a huge fan of player collections. So this weekend at our show, Connor McDavid, or sorry, Connor McMichael, the other Connor, there was a nice collection there. Somebody had, I don't know, 8 of his jerseys. Dylan McElrath, tough guy, been in the league a long time.
Mhm.
Somebody there had, I don't know, 15 or so of his. Not a whole lot of old stuff around, but you know, we're hoping. We're hoping.
You mentioned growing and learning as you continue to build an expo. And again, to get one on the books, Ben, is an accomplishment. To get 2, 3, you've reached 5. So you get a little anniversary patch or something like that as part of your uniform. Tell me about some of the challenges. And I'm sure they're every year. You guys hit curveballs. Our friend Francis hits a curveball. Our friend Josh had a Chicago expo recently. There was one in Detroit. Our friends in St. Louis have them. They're in Southern California. Everybody experiences hiccups, curveballs, and learning experiences as part of putting on this show.
Yes, so it's literally getting a commitment from someone is the toughest thing. People come out every year. Oh, we love this. We want to do it. Yes, I love that enthusiasm. Please come out next year. If we don't have people set up at these shows, we can't do it. And we have not broken even yet on a show. So we are paying out of pocket here to do these things. And the only way to get past that is to have just more people come out. And when we did first start, we put out that if we were to make above the room costs, we would be donating that to the Ronald McDonald House, which there is a branch here in Hershey.
Hmm. And that's a way to get people a little extra interested too, because again, you're not looking to do this for profit. You want people to come. You want people to enjoy what they see, to enjoy the camaraderie, to enjoy the community. And if you all can make a charitable donation happen out of that, gravy, my friend, literally gravy.
Absolutely. And the hotel we work with, it's a Holiday Inn. We've been there every year. They have been great with us. They've kept it affordable. Um, so that really helps too to have a partner that sees what you're trying to do and is willing to help you.
You and I have crossed paths at the Northern Virginia Expo. I don't know how much experience you've had. Maybe you've attended a migrate, maybe you've gone to some other ones. What makes the Hershey Expo unique? And I think I'll steal your answer and then you can correct me or expound upon it. And I think it is the fact that it is it's such a love fest for the locals, air quotes, and local fans. When you come to the DC Expo, the Northern Virginia Expo, you do see a lot of Capitals pieces, but you also see Migrate comes down and you see blues stuff and you see goalies and you see this. It's not all your expo is not all Hershey, but it's a true fan. It's probably more fan of the Bears organization than anything, and that's what makes it, I guess, a little more special, a little warm, a little more warmer for everybody to link up and join up.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way I kind of described it to the two guys, Matt and Casey, that came down from Migrate to our show, is you might not see, you know, your $2,000, $3,000 jersey, this crazy Ovechkin or a Messier or something like that, but you're going to see a lot of cool stuff. Most of it, not all, most is related to Bears. You know, a lot of people have come through that franchise and have gone on to bigger and better things.
As far as the evolution of the show from year 1 to year 5, what have you found that's changed or even been a slight tweak, but still noticeable to you, the organizer?
Yeah, so the strange thing with my show is that I've noticed, and I haven't really talked to anybody else, that does run a show, but we have such a turnover. Every year we have 5 or 6 new people every year. And then the following year, they might not show up, but somebody else will show up. And someone might take 2 years off or 3 years off and then come back. It's really strange how that evolution works. And on the other side, we do have people that are there consistently every year and love it. They're the first one messaging you, "Hey, when's the next show? I'm in. I need to be there."
And it sounds like that's part of what's most rewarding is that you do have return collectors, return displayers. You've built an audience. Granted, the Bears have built the audience for you, but it says something about you that people keep on wanting to do this, Ben.
Yeah, and the hardest thing is getting the word out there. It's hard, even with the internet now. And I don't know how you guys did before that, but even now, just getting someone to recognize what we're doing, getting them interested, and then actually having them drive to your location and show up. It's hard and it's frustrating, but when we get, 100 people through the door on the day of the show, that's pretty cool.
Hopefully, this will help, and you can certainly use this audio and video conversation because it's marketing for you guys too. We've seen you in Northern Virginia. We've seen you on the internet looking for your players, and we'll get to Ben's collection in just a little bit. But we know what you're about. We know that you're a good collector and you're good people, and you've got your own expo in Hershey, not all that far from nation's capital, certainly not far from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, or Baltimore, Maryland, or even State College, or even Pittsburgh if you want to do something and make a day trip and don't go all the way to Philly, or if you want to come out from Philly. You're actually centrally located, and it's a breeze to get to. And I owe you one, not like my being there is going to be so wonderful, but I've always heard great things, and I need to go.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And, the more the merrier.
Amen and hallelujah. It's Tales from the Warehouse, Volume 69. We're talking to Ben Russell. He's in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Of course, Ben Collector. We'll get to that in a split second. But as we draw closer, holiday sale is right around the corner. And by the time this podcast drops, the information for the holiday sales will be in your inbox and in your ears and in your eyes before long. Also, as always, check out mygrayauctions.com. There'll be a Connor McDavid auction coming to a close before long. If you're in a puck mood, course, partner clubs include Columbus, Minnesota, Nashville, the New Jersey Devils, the Philadelphia Flyers, and the Washington Capitals. You're an NBA type of person, Golden State, the Lakers, tons and tons of really cool things, authentication, peace of mind, wear, and just the awesome of awesomeness, if that's even a phrase. WNBA includes the Golden State Valkyries, the Las Vegas Aces, and Vegas, another title winning. They are primetime organization and always delivers and great stuff through MyGray and mygray.com. It's Tales from the Warehouse, Volume 69, bringing a game-worn expo to life and a collector focus, a little combo platters. We are joined by Ben Russell, fresh off his fifth very successful, super lot of fun Hershey Game Worn Expo. About to talk about his collection. Quick reminder, mygray.com. Head there now. Columbus, Minnesota, Nashville, Jersey, Philly, Washington, all NHL partner clubs, Warriors, Lakers, Golden State and Las Vegas and the WNBA, mygrayauctions.com. Connor McDavid auction coming to a close shortly. And as we head toward Thanksgiving and then Black Friday and the holiday season soon to follow, the holiday sales information will be in your eyes and your ears and your inbox before too long. Ben, we talked a lot about the Hershey Expo. Again, congrats on number 5. Your collection is AB. We talked a little bit about Keith Aucoin. The B would be Jay Beagle, immensely popular here in Washington, a member of the Stanley Cup team, and one of, I was reminded, in fact, is he the only guy to win at the E, the A, and he won twice, and at the NHL? I thought there was another guy or two. I could be very wrong, but Jay's part of that club, and he's predominantly featured as part of your collection, sir.
Yeah, he did win at all 3 levels, 2 with the Bears then, as you mentioned, and I'm as far as my knowledge goes, I think he is the only one to have done that. Now there was guys who had won in juniors, then AHL, and then the cup. But I think he is the only one to win at all 3 ECHL, AHL, and NHL levels.
So to start today's podcast, you told me about the raffle that you had won, and it was a Keith Aucoin Calder Cup Finals, a beautiful sweater, patched up. I'm sure it means so much to you, so much. It's a piece of Hershey Bears history as well. From there, you got the bug bite and you said, you know what? This is really cool. I'm sure that winning a raffle didn't hurt either, my friend, but you had it. Tell me about your first experiences. Did you then go, okay, who sells these and where do I get more? How did that snowball, if you will?
Yeah, it was a little hard at first to track down, what migraine was. I think somebody at Giant Center kind of mentioned it. And then, you go on the website and you just start digging and digging and digging. And you find all kinds of great stuff on there. And actually, my first two purchases from there were gifts for my wife for our wedding. And it was a J Beagle
Hmm.
and a Grant McNeil. So that's kind of where the J Beagle thing started. And from there, it really, really snowballed.
And now, when you say really, really snowballed, was it, all right, I'm adding a little too much, or I can't add these pieces fast enough? And we'll get to your grand totals in a second, or your ever evolving totals, because the collections are absolutely gorgeous and orderly. And it's just impressive to see so many different varieties. And, we'll talk about a coin, but Beagle having played here and in Vancouver and in Hershey, you were nice enough to send along emailed pictures of the class photo, as it were. That's how quickly did this snowball?
I would say uh, man, that's a hard question. My memory's not the best, but I would say the first, 5 years, you can kind of get a little crazy until you really start to
Hmm.
find a focus for your collection. Um, you can just go nuts. So, what I tell people is when they
Of
approach
course.
me about collecting is you have to focus on something because if you don't, it's just endless.
So you use the F word, and by that I mean focus. Is it solely hockey? Is it solely Jay Beagle and Keith Aucoin? Is it anybody that's ever played in a Bears uniform? Is it college unis of these guys? Tell me where the focus lies.
Yeah, so both Aucoin and Beagle have retired now, so it's kind of hard to pick up new stuff from them. However, I did just buy something from my gray. It was the black Vancouver jersey that I did not have. I have his gloves and helmet from those games, but did not have the jersey. And then I do have a couple baseball jerseys, nothing crazy. Tony Gwynn jersey, Bobby Abreu. Um, but it really is about guys who come through Hershey. You know, a new guy comes up. Hey, I like Vinny Iorio. I like the way he plays the game. I see what he's doing back there on defense. He's jumping up. He's making plays in the offensive zone too. So I pick up a couple of his juniors jerseys. Um, Joe Snively, undersized guy, quick, fast, great hands, really great hands. Start picking up some of his stuff. Two Bears jerseys here, his Yale jersey, Garrett Pilon, son of an NHLer, Rich, and like the way he checked. So pick up his juniors jersey, a Bears jersey, his Capitals debut, his first Capitals point or NHL point actually, and it really is about the guys who come through Hershey for me.
Out of everything in the collection, and I can see over your shoulder, there's Stanley Cup patches there. You're wearing a Calder Cup Finals patch. Is there something, or are there some things that really stick out and you almost pinch yourself moments like, I still can't believe I have this piece in the collection? Give me one, two, or three, or more.
The Stanley Cup jerseys are kind of easy. You know what I mean? a team makes, especially with Migray owning the rights to the Capitals, the team makes the finals. You email them like, "Hey, I need this. If you're the first one there, you got it." But something like his college jersey back here, this yellow one, that was a hard track down. And
Hmm.
shout out to Burt Woods. Someone reached out to him. He forwarded that guy to us, and we were able to pick up his UAA college jersey.
Bert, one of the true good guys in the hobby, and I know your path is crossed with him as well, and vice versa. As far as the college jersey, I mean, do you find that people are like, well, you do know it's Jay Beagle, and you're like, I know, but if I told you I had, and what is the number of Beagles currently in the collection, Ben?
So actually, I had to go through and look again, and I found two that I did not have on my list. And then I also mentioned the one
Oh,
that I just bought from My Gray. So the total is 40 right now.
okay. So, but when you get the person who has the UAA, you're like, You got to believe me. I'm just a really big fan and have always liked him and what he represents and what he's brought to our town twice and what he brought to the good folks in Washington D.C. We're legit collectors. Does that make the hunting and the acquiring of the vintage Beagle piece a little easier for the person on the other end? They're like, wow, you really are a fan.
I hope it helps. I usually do send off that roll call picture, um, maybe trying
Hmm.
to change their mind that they might want to sell it, might want to get rid of it. Know that it's going to a good home. Know that it's probably never going to leave. Um, so I do hope that helps. Sometimes it goes against me, and it goes the other way, and they're like, I can't let this go because I'm never going to get it back.
Of course. That's the pitfalls of collecting. Um, you mentioned the college one, for instance. Any of the other ones come with any sort of odd or interesting backstories? Like, I still don't believe we got this one, and it carries, it carries a duffel bag worth of story with it.
Yeah. So the Idaho Steelheads jersey here, the Kelly Cup Finals jersey. Somebody at Giant Center had
Hmm.
that for years. She would wear it to the games once a year. I'd say, "Hey, if you ever want to sell that, let us know." Finally, I don't know. It's 8, 9 years later. She reaches out, say, "Hey, we're kind of out of the jersey collecting business. I want to sell this."
So it finally happened, and it landed. And was it a play? By the way, did she say we're just getting out because we're just maybe it's just a different phase of life, and we're kids in college or some other reason, or yeah, we're moving to Florida and we're not going to be going to as many games anymore.
She did not say specifically, but I do know that they had small kids at the time, so I'm assuming, maybe more important things came up.
Of course, as is always the case, it is a hobby. It is to be enjoyed, but real life does intervene. When it comes to buying, anybody that's sort of crossed through Hershey, and you mentioned, getting having an affinity for a player like Vinny Iorio, or Beagle, or Aucoin, or McMichael. Are you looking to photo match? Are you looking for? You mentioned the ease and the peace of mind that Migrate can bring. What are you looking for as far as the sweater itself?
Yeah, obviously, photo matching is great. Is it the end all for me? No. Am I going to be able to photo match Jay Beagle's junior jersey? No, definitely not. But you can see the wear on it. That's pretty much good enough for me.
You mentioned the Steelheads piece. You mentioned the college piece. Are there other pieces that have been it's so extremely difficult to hunt down? Maybe it is a juniors piece where you're like, I don't know if we're ever gonna, if this is ever gonna turn up on the radar. What's that been like?
So my biggest hole in the Jay Beagle collection is the 2011 Winter Classic jersey from when they played out in Pittsburgh. I have the gloves, I have the helmet. I'm still looking for that jersey. So if anybody's out there, please reach out.
Understood. So that's one you're still chasing. Tell me about the Keith Aucoin affinity, and are you missing any from that? Because your collection of Mr. Aucoin has not only been stateside and college side and whatnot, and at last check, I think he's a scout with the Avs, or maybe at one point was, but your collection of his wear goes across the pond to maybe the German ice hockey leagues as well, correct?
Yes, absolutely. He played, so I did look it up. He played so long in the AHL, had a bunch of different teams in the NHL, played on the, I think it was was it '07 when the Hurricanes won the cup? '06.
Sounds about right.
He played on that team, did not play in the actual finals game, but was on the team throughout the year. He is the seventh all time in the AHL with points. So he had 859 points in 769 games. Woo. Yeah. Putting up big numbers.
Yeah.
In that '09, '10 cup run down in the AHL with the Bears, we had two players over 100 points that year. They were just lighting it up. I looked it up again today. They were winning 8-0, 12-0, 12-2. It was insane.
Very impressive and video game numbers all. When you do pare down, if there is paring down, whether it be from I would guess there's no paring down of the Beagle or the Aucoin, but if there's something that suddenly has to become available, how do you decide what it might be available? If is it to salary cap space, or is it like, look, I know I'm interested in this Beagle. Let's say the Winter Classic from Heinz Field becomes available now, Acrisure Stadium or Acrisure Field or whatever it's called. But if the Heinz Beagle comes your way and they say, I'm gonna want this in return, what's the process there, Ben, for the collection?
That particular jersey you'd probably just buy and not wait
Yeah,
around trying to move anything else. uh,
understood. But in the collection itself, in the Hershey, in your Hershey world, what how do you figure what may or may not be available at any certain time?
so I have shifted a little bit now that Aucoin and Beagle are retired. I'm going to go move more towards '70s, '80s Hershey Bears stuff. Will I pick up something from last year? Maybe. Uh, but I'm sure you don't follow the Hershey market very much, but they have gotten very, very crazy down here with
Hmm.
pricing. So there's kind of a sweet spot in the late 2000s, early teens, where you can pick up really great jerseys for with nice wear for a great price. And if I see something like that, I pick it up. I stash it to our expo. I don't really sell outside our expo now that we started that. I kind of like to save stuff to bring it back to the community here.
That's a very interesting point. And actually, I'm glad you brought up the Hershey market. And if you could, and please, by all means, we love to educate here. Can you teach those not everybody has an AHL market right there in their lap. And you're also not far from an NHL market in Philadelphia, an NHL market in Pittsburgh. Again, they're not right around the corner, but you're probably closest to the NHL market here in Washington, give or take. All that said, what's life like from a collecting perspective in an AHL market, especially one where the Hershey Bears fan faithful love to buy their sweaters? They love to buy warm-ups. They love to buy theme. They love to buy tribute. They love to buy that product. That's what I know. Tell me more.
Yeah, so if you want to buy one of those specialty jerseys, I'd say minimum $1,200. It's a most of them are single games. Now they are starting this year with an alternate that they're going to wear 4 games. So the wear on those might be a little better, but those single game jerseys go for crazy money. It goes to a good cause. The Stanley or the Calder Cup final jerseys from 2 years ago came available, and I would say that they were approaching, if not surpassing, some of the NHL Stanley Cup jerseys. Yes, there were several.
They love that, you know, I mean, and again, you know, you can also teach me about the experience that I've only seen in video, the bear toss. And people doing good, and I don't know how often they do it, but those items wind up, I believe, in a children's hospital, or they are donated, or something like that. But again,
Yep.
please educate me because I tend to talk out the other end of my microphone from time to time.
Yeah, teddy bear toss has gotten insane also. We're actually fortunate enough to have really good seats down at the glass and in the corner, so you can't throw your teddy bears over the glass because of the netting. So we end up
So you're
getting
getting
buried.
bears,
We
right?
get end up buried up to our waist in
In
not just
bears.
teddy bears, it's literally any kind of stuffed animal you can think of, we get pelted with.
And they all, as you mentioned, it's all to support a good cause. Talk to me a little bit about too the bears and how these things are sold. They do obviously it's a rough go, but everybody does as good of a job as they possibly can. What's it like to purchase and how do they market? Or they don't need to market. People just go, yes, I'm in, and we'll give it our, you know, hopefully I have access.
Yeah, I assume you're talking about the jerseys, right?
Yes,
The
sir.
jerseys.
Yes.
So they kind of, if you're interested in bidding on a jersey, you go to the center ice sections. There's literally a guy on the ice with a mic saying $1,000. You raise your hand, say, "Yeah, that's me," and it goes on and goes on until no one else bids. And if you're the highest bidder, you get to meet that player. He'll sign the jersey for you, take a picture. It's cool experience. I have never done it, just because the prices. I don't see the value in it for a single gamer, but
Mhm.
it is very fun to watch.
But truth be told, the support is there, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing for any market. It's a good thing for the collecting market. It's a good thing for the hobbyist market. It's a good thing for the collector market as well. And Hershey represents, and Ben, thank you because you guys represent very, very well the love of the hobby, the willingness to put your necks out and establish a relationship that's now 5 years and running with the local collecting community that draws from other places in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, draws from Baltimore, draws our friends from DC and Maryland and Northern Virginia, and they all go to Hershey, and that's a credit to you guys. So congrats and long live the Hershey Game Worn Expo, and thanks for hanging out inside the warehouse today, sir.
Hey, I appreciate it, Scott.
Thank you, Ben. Again, real quick, as we get to the holiday season, information on the sales, the holiday sale up at mygray.com will be in your inbox before you know it, I promise. And when you're looking, Ben does it, I do it too. Go to mygray.com. Check out the NHL wear for Columbus and Minnesota and the Preds and the Devs and the Flyers and the Washington Capitals. If you're in an NBA mood, whole lot of greatness, whether it's Lakers stuff or Warriors stuff or WNBA stuff. And of course, My Gray Auctions, pretty much wrapping up shortly, a Connor McDavid auction. Best to everybody out there. Enjoy the holiday season. Enjoy the holiday sales. We'll be back before long. Ben Russell, thank you again. Continued success in collecting and with the Hershey Game Worn Expo. Until next time, it's been Ben. I'm Scott. The warehouse is closed.